A childhood friend called me last month. And he said, Yossi, I got to tell you something. You may be a little bit upset with what I'm about to tell you, but I have to tell it to you. I think at the end you'll be happy I'm telling it to you. I said, go right ahead. He said, last night I went to a wedding in Brooklyn to a mutual friend of ours, let's call him David. And at the wedding, I went over to him. I said, Mazel Tov to him. I said, it was nice. We were, we spent years together in yeshiva. He says, he tells my friend, I want to tell you something. It would mean a lot to me if some of those friends that we had growing up would apologize to me, because what they did to me destroyed my life. Even though today I'm a rabbi and I run a successful Chabad center, but because of what they did to me, I became insecure. Till today, I'm nervous sometimes talking in front of my friends, and it had affected me in a negative way. And one of the friends, he said, was you. I'm thinking to myself, I don't ever remember doing anything to this person. Why would he be upset at me, and why would I affect his life? But if he felt that I affected his life in a negative way, I'm trying to remember. I didn't remember ever being with him. I remember in sleepaway camp we were together, we were young, and then later on in life. I said, fine, I'll call him and I'll apologize. Honestly, I don't even know what I'm apologizing for, but I'll do it. So I call him up, David, he's a rabbi. His name's not David, I'm changing his name for the story, And I call him up and I say, David, I want to apologize for what I did, because our mutual friend told me that you told him that you really, what me and some of my friends did to him had a big effect on him in a negative way, and I want to apologize to him. So he asked me, I appreciate it, means a lot to me that you're doing this. I really needed this closure, but do you even know what you did to me? I said, honestly, I have no idea what you're talking about. But obviously, if you feel hurt from me, I'm willing to do it. I will happily do it. So he says, twice in our life that we were together. Once we were very young in sleepaway camp, and then I came back to your class. He was from out of town. He lived in another state. I went to learn in Brooklyn, New York in your class when you were a teenager. So when I came to your class when you're 14, 15, and then we were together in yeshiva till 20, you were always very nice to me, we got along. But the story I'm talking about, what happened to me, is when we were very young in sleepaway camp. You see, I went one summer to sleepaway camp, we were both 9 years old, I was in your bunk, and you were with all your friends from the yeshiva, and you were very nice to me. 2 years later, I came back, now you're 11 years old, and you guys picked at me, made fun of me, you gave me a nickname, and I left the middle of camp, and it broke me, and it really affected me till today, in a certain sense. Even though I'm a successful rabbi, but I have certain insecurities and all that stuff. And he says, you know what the ironic thing is? You don't even remember the story. You don't even remember the name that you guys used to call me. And because it didn't mean much to you, but to me, it meant the world to me. And I said, you're so right. Because honestly, we were 11-year-old kids, maybe I was 10, 11 years old. And unfortunately, this is what goes on. And for us, it's just a comment, but for you, it was knives in your heart. I felt terrible, I apologized. He said, so listen, I know you, I met you later on in life, we always got along, you didn't even remember that story, but I never got myself to repeat how you guys treated me when I was 10, 11 years old. And obviously I felt terrible, but also I felt good. I was able to make up for it. And I went home, I told my kids, and I have younger kids too, to always remember, you never know which kid you're talking to and what you're saying to them. But one thing you know is if you're going to say something positive and good, it's going to help them. If you're going to make fun of them, even though for you it's not a big deal, it's just a joke, for them it can be a life-changing event. And the reason I'm sharing this story today, because in our Holy Torah, it talks about the story of tsaras. You got tsaras, certain thing on your skin, and you have to separate yourself from the community. And the rabbis tell us that the reason why you got it is when you spoke Lashon Hara, when you had an evil talk, when you spoke bad about another person, that's what it came. And you had to separate yourself from the community, because that's a very bad thing. Because like it says in King David, says in the Psalms, Mi yasha eish chavetz chaim, who's a person that wants life? If you want life, if you want long life, which we all want long life, watch your tongue, what you say about other people. Don't talk bad about other people. My question is, how does that help your life? Why are you going to have long life if you don't talk bad about other people? My dear friends, the greatest destruction in families, the greatest destruction in relationship, the greatest destruction in countries is because one person said something bad about another person. One person changed the story and lied to another person. What comes out of your tongue could build the world. What comes out of your mouth could destroy the world. And that's what King David said. This Tuesday, we're going to be celebrating the Lubavitcher Rebbe's 120th birthday. The Rebbe is the one who sent the Chum and I to open up a Chabad center and a friendship circle here in our community. The Lubavitcher Rebbe taught us many, many things, but one of the things you can see from all the Rebbe's talks to people, and the Rebbe's talks spend thousands of hours talking, is always talking positive about a situation and always talking positive to another person. So many people who met the Rebbe said, when the Rebbe came to them, if they spoke negative about themselves, the Rebbe would talk about to them that you always have to talk positive about yourself and always look with a good eye and always speak in a positive way. And this is something that really could be a life-changing. I think a great resolution for this week, as we're coming into Pesach, as we're coming into the holiday of becoming a nation, is to build a nation, build a community, build a shul, build a family, is say positive things. Unfortunately, there's some people that love to talk negative. As soon as they can talk negative, they're going to always be there. Why is this? And complaining about people, and talking negative about people, and talking lashon hara about people. You know what? That destroys a company. If it's in your own office, it's in your own family, it's in your own community, it's in their own world. And the greatest blessing we have is when we're united and we come one together. So when you have to speak something, say positive, holy, godly, inspirational, loving thoughts. If you have anything negative to say, go right out the door. It doesn't belong. If you want to talk bad about other people, it doesn't belong. If you want to make fun of another person, don't let it come out of your mouth. Always say things that are going to make people feel good. So before you say something, is it going to lift up the person or is it going to put them down? Is it going to help the situation or is it going to destroy the situation? And if you're not sure, ask somebody else. What I'm about to say, is that the right thing to say? Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom, and remember, you're guaranteed to regret it if you say something when you're angry. Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.